Hey everybody, Steve here, and welcome to the AFR Monday Night Double Play for March 21st, 2016. So first up, let's jump right into the AFR Game of the Week. I'm continuing my season with the Boston Minutemen using the 2015 Football America set for second season football. And I got in 2 games, and I'm really happy to say that the Boston team is now 10-0 on the season. First up, we travel to Oklahoma City, where we're taking on the 2-6 Oklahoma City Twisters. And the big draw in this game was the Oklahoma City's second-year quarterback, Uriah Foster Owens, or better known as UFO. He's not really much of a passer, but he is an excellent scrambler, and it was put into effect really early in this matchup, and he had 2 big runs in their first series and led him down the field. However, it stalled late, and they had to settle for a field goal to go up 3-0 early. Boston's offense struggled a lot in this game, and they were only able to manage to get into field goal range at the very end of the first quarter. But fortunately, the strong leg of Ackerman knocked through a 52-yard field goal to tie the game up at 3 apiece. In the second quarter, UFO led his team down the field again, but stalled late and had to settle for another field goal. And it looked like Boston was going to go into the half down, but they had a late drive, and it finished up with a 6-yard touchdown rush from Edwards, and so they went up 13-6. The start of the second half, both teams exchanged failed drives, and Oklahoma City, they had to punt. It was fielded by Brooks at the 5-yard line, or I should say he tried to field it, he muffed it, and Oklahoma City recovered and took over on the very next play. UFO found his wide receiver a Bolware for the score, and they tied the game up at 13 apiece. At the start of the fourth quarter, with the game still tied, Boston was driving. However, their veteran running back, Rondé Lincoln, had his second fumble of the game, and this time Oklahoma City recovered and took over. UFO led his team down the field again. He had another big rush during the series, and he led his team down to the 28, but it stalled there. A couple of incomplete passes. Their kicker came on for the field goal and put it through, and they took the lead 16-13. And that's where the score would stay until late into the quarter. So the teams go back and forth with a couple of failed series. Boston took over with just 5 minutes left in the game and looking at their first loss of the season. They started at their own 20-yard line, but Tulamasi was able to drive them down the field. And then with just about a minute to go in the game, Priest caught a pass for 21 yards, just shy of the end zone, and then Edwards plunged in for the 1-yard rush to get his second touchdown of the game and put his team up 20-16, and that's where our final would go. And so Boston went to 9-0 on the season. And then the next game was against Chicago. They were back home. And this game was a really tight affair as well. They exchanged touchdowns in the first half, and then Boston went up 14-7, and they were up by that score going into the fourth quarter, and then they finally blew the door open with a couple of touchdowns. Chicago had a couple of big turnovers, so this one was a tight game, but not anywhere near as dramatic an ending as the Oklahoma City game was. So Boston is looking good. They're 10-0. However, right in their own division, the second best team in the league, New York, is 8-2. So they still have a ways to go to clinch the division. And in fact, the next game on the schedule, they'll be traveling to New York. So that should be quite a matchup. And that's what my game of the week is going to be for this next week, is a division rival. So if you have a division rivalry that you like to play out on your tabletop, play out the game and then leave your comments about the game here on the show. As for viewer submissions from last week, Jim Suprent continued his Scram season and had a surprise rookie victory from Austin Bigler. And Terry Wrightsman wrote in to share a league that he's doing with Roller Rumble. For those of you not familiar with that game, it represents the roller derby leagues from the late 60s and 70s. They used to be on TV. It's from play.com. It's a really fun game. I've actually done a review on it if you want to check that out. Terry has a league that has going, and he has a big write-up on it on the play.com's Delphi Forums. I'll post a link to that below here if you want to check those out. Guys, thanks for sharing your thoughts and your game of the week. Now it's time for the question of the week. So last week I asked everybody what other types of games they play other than sports games on your table, and had a couple of viewers mention that they like other card type games. Rice Ben Walos said that he also enjoyed Sentinels of the Multiverse, and there was a comment from John Mag saying that he likes the new Warhammer Quest game. And so one thing I noticed both of those games, those card-driven games, is that there's something that you can play solo, which is something that I'm always interested in. So I might have to check out that Warhammer card game out. I have heard a lot of good things about that. So thank you guys for sharing your comments on the question of the week. For this week, I actually have a question regarding my Football America season. And what I'd like to know is, how do you think the playoff structure should work? So how I have my league set up, it's in 3 divisions, the East, Central, and West. The 3 division winners automatically make it into the playoffs, and then there's one wild card, whichever team left over has the best record. And then there's 1 round of playoffs, and then the winners of those 2 games meet in the championship match. And my question is, originally I was thinking that the division teams would be ranked 1, 2, and 3. The wildcard team would be number 4, and then team 1 would play team number 4, and then team 2 and 3 would square off. However, it's looking like both teams from the Eastern Division, my Boston Minutemen and the New York team, are going to have the best records in the league. So I was wondering if I should do away with seeding the division winners automatically 1, 2, 3, and just give the seeding to the best teams with the best records. So that way we'll truly have the best teams facing off potentially in the championship game. So let me know in the comments below whether you think the seeding should go by their division rank or should go by their overall wins and losses. I'll look forward to hearing your responses, and whatever way gets the most votes, that's how I'm going to play out my league here for my Football America season. Alright everybody, that is all for now. Thank you for watching. My name is Steve, and until next time, get out there, have fun, play games, and I'll see you after further review.